Judges from the UK, Canada, and Australia have continued to sit on Hong Kong's top court since the handover to China in 1997. In the last few days, though, Lord Sumption, former Supreme Court Justice, stepped down from the role along with a colleague. He is not the first to do so, but there are still 7 overseas judges who remain in such positions. Lord Sumption's decision came in the wake of the conviction of 14 pro-democracy activists the other day for subversion. Since 2020, Hong Kong has seen a crackdown on such activity as a national security law came in as a response to mass protests. Lord Sumption has now written about his decision in the Financial Times, and he joins us now. Lord Sumption, good morning. Tell us first of all, was it that the conviction of those 14 people that made you decide to do this?
That was the last straw. The problem in Hong Kong have been building up over the last 4 years, and I think all the judges of court feel concerned about this, but they differ on the degree of optimism that they have about the way that the presence of foreign judges on the court might moderate the persecutory zeal of the authorities. I have reached the point eventually that I don't think that my continuing presence on the court is serving any useful purpose.
Do you think that the court itself is compromised? Because those who remain on the court, at least one of them is on the record as saying that it is still a robust institution.
That's true of the Court of Final Appeal. That's absolutely right. But there is a problem about the approach of the judiciary generally. Very few cases have so far reached the Court of Final Appeal on the national security law. But the difficulty is, first of all, the national security law itself and a distinct colonial law against sedition, which are extremely illiberal. They could have been applied much more moderately than they have been. Secondly, there is the problem that under the basic law, if China doesn't like the court's decisions, they can reverse them by what is called an interpretation, although it's usually just a legislative intervention, from the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress in Berlin. It was initially unclear how frequently this would be used, but recent incidents have indicated that the Chinese are determined to use this provision in order to ensure that its opponents lose. But the real problem, I think, in Hong Kong is the paranoid atmosphere there. This is said to be a response to the 2019 riots, but there were already laws perfectly capable of dealing with those. The object, as it's become increasingly clear, of the national security law was to crush peaceful political dissent, not just riots.
And there were people right from the beginning who predicted that, and we have seen many pro-democracy activists and politicians and media owners and others be convicted for one thing or another in that time.
Yes.
Do you look back now and think that perhaps you should have done this earlier?
No, I don't think that. I mean, some non-permanent judges did withdraw earlier, either on their own initiative, like Jim Spiegelman, the Australian judge, or under pressure from the UK government, like the 2 members of the Supreme Court in the United Kingdom who withdrew 2 years ago. But I think that it is absolutely right to wait and see how things develop, and to hope that one can make a positive contribution. It's taken me a long time to conclude that that's not realistic. But I think that it is absolutely right to wait until there's hard information and not rely on speculative possibilities.
Your decision has sparked a very strong reaction from the leader of Hong Kong, the chief executive, John Lee, who has said judges do not have expertise in political matters, and also accused Britain more widely of attempting to interfere in Hong Kong's legal affairs. You come to this conclusion in your Financial Times piece. Hong Kong is slowly becoming a totalitarian state.
Yes, well, I'm not opining on the politics of it so much as the effect of the politics on judicial life in Hong Kong, a matter on which I have some first-hand experience.
And so what does that leave you concluding then? Do you think that, I mean, I'm sure you won't tell those judges still sitting on the court what to do, But
No, of
saying
course
that
not.
it's slowly becoming a totalitarian state, this is still a major international financial centre, somewhere where internet, the system that you were part of when you did sit on this court of final appeal was part of giving a whole sort of international confidence to firms and others.
Yes, yes, it was.
And is that no longer there now?
I think that the picture is getting darker. The judgment on the 30th of May against the 14 democracy activists was a major indication of the lengths to which some judges are prepared to go to ensure that Beijing's campaign against those who have supported democracy succeeds. I think this is very unfortunate because, after all, the basic law of Hong Kong itself envisages that universal suffrage will be the ultimate aim. So it seems to me very strange for any court to suggest that organising primary campaigns in order to achieve a democratic majority in the Legislative Council can be a criminal offence.
Lord Sumption, thank you very much.
Time now is 8 minutes to 7.